Hi guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about everything that you are going to need to pick up before you get your dog or your puppy. So I have a pretty good size list, and this is the list that I made for myself and followed before I went and got Bean, and it was really helpful. Everything that I'm going to list off, I'm going to make a little checklist for you guys and put it in the description, just to make it a little bit easier for when you're preparing to get your dog. So we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so the very first thing that I got for Bean was his crate. So all of this stuff pretty much came from PetSmart because my sister works there, and it's pretty easy to go and pick everything up. But you can also get it from a bunch of online places. There's lots of great options out there that keep things a bit cheaper. So this crate that we got, I did a lot of research to see what sizing he was gonna need, because there's a lot of different sizes of crates, obviously, and not everybody decides to do crate training, but I thought it was a really great idea for me and for potty training and helping him to sleep through the night, and it worked really well for us. So I ended up getting a crate that was pretty much the smallest size they had, and then the crate itself actually comes with a little divider that goes inside to make it a bit smaller. And for the first little bit, we definitely used that. He just upgraded to having the whole crate probably a month ago, and before that it was really small because you want it to be able to be big enough for them to turn around and sleep comfortably, but not big enough so that they have a space where they can use the bathroom in their crate and not be like sleeping in it. So you want to make sure that it's like the right size for your dog. And yeah, so that was the first thing that I picked up, and it has been very helpful and only something that I had to buy once since I was able to divide it up. So the second thing that I would recommend picking up is a little gate for the inside of your house. We actually already had one from our other dog that we raised, just to kind of divide off spaces from her, which was really helpful. But it's like about probably 4 feet tall, and we can turn it into a little circle for him to be in when we're not paying attention to what he's doing, or if he needs to go into a timeout, or be able to have his food, because our other dog likes to try to eat his food. So he just has a little safe space that's bigger than the crate, and it's downstairs with us where we can still see him and make sure that he's okay, but he has his own little place. We also open it up and use it to divide out the living room so we can control where he's getting into, which was really helpful at first. We have another gate that we put so it blocks so he can't get to the front door up the stairs, and so there's kind of 2 levels, and that's been really helpful. He's upgraded a bit to the 2nd level. We usually let him have free range around the kitchen and the living room now because he's gotten a bit better, but definitely not ready to go all over the house. So I would definitely recommend 1 or 2 gates that you use to divide off the space for them. So the third thing is, if you have a backyard or a nice outdoor space, I would definitely recommend getting an outdoor gate, or just looking at what your backyard looks like. If there's anywhere you don't want your puppy to be going right away, I would definitely recommend getting some gates or just some like temporary plastic fencing to keep them out of those spaces, because you never know what they can get into. We have a pretty nice like little hill in our yard, and there can sometimes be animals or mushrooms or things growing that I really didn't want him to get into, and he was so small that I wanted to be able to know where he was at all times. So we fenced off a good amount of the yard, and he's kind of upgraded now that he's almost 7 months old, to having pretty free range of the yard. But something to think about if you have a pool as well, something to think about. I introduced Bean to the pool pretty early to show him what it was, and that we don't go in there, and that you stay away from the edge, and he's done a really great job. We haven't had any incidents with that, but something to think about. So the 4th thing is pee pads. This is totally up to you. You can decide to train your dog right away to just go outside, but when we first got Bean, especially for that little circle area, we wanted to make sure if he did use the bathroom in there that we could just easily like clean it up and it would be okay. I wanted to train him to use pee pads because I plan on traveling with him a lot, and I want him to know that I can put down a pee pad anywhere that we are and he can just go there. It was also really helpful bringing him out in public places. I would bring him out to go get coffee with a friend or food or something because he was just so small and I wanted to socialize him to new spaces. I was able to just put down a pee pad out in like outside or in a bathroom stall, and he would just go to the bathroom on the pee pad, which was really helpful because he also wasn't allowed to be physically on the ground where other dogs were. So that was a helpful thing. Something I'd recommend for small dogs probably, but totally up to you, something to think about. So something that kind of goes along with that and potty training is cleaning supplies. We have had so many accidents. If you watched our 6-month update video and what I wish I knew before getting a puppy video, then you will see he has had a very hard time with potty training. So we've been using a lot of different enzyme cleaners and stain removers and things like that. Everything that I've been using has been all natural and from the pet store, so it's safe to use with animals. Bean likes to lick or eat anything he can, so if there's a toxic chemical, he would probably just go for it. So I've been very careful, and in my daily life, I use all natural products as well. But yeah, so one of the best that we have found is the Nature's Miracle, I think it is. We recently started using that one and it was a game changer. But there's a lot of really great ones just at any pet store. So next is the more fun and exciting thing. We got Bean so many toys. My sister went Black Friday shopping for me because I was still in Australia, and she got so many toys for him. And she also works at a pet store, so she gets discounts, which is really nice. But I will show you guys, like, the amount of toys we have is a little insane. He is definitely a very spoiled puppy when it comes to his toys, but he likes the variants of them, and some of them are better for when he's losing teeth. Some of them are just more fun for him to throw around. He likes big toys, he likes little toys. Like, we just have them all, and it keeps him very occupied, which is good. I would definitely recommend getting some specific teething toys if you're getting a puppy, because teething is crazy and it happens twice. So something to be aware of, something for them to chew on that's not your hand, very helpful. So the next things are a bit obvious, but your dog will definitely want a bed or something that they can sleep on comfortably. So in Bean Circle, we have 2 beds actually, because again, very spoiled puppy, but he loves both of them, so we've let him have 2. But he has one with edges because he likes to cuddle into the edges, and he has one that's just open and has like a little part that he can go inside of, and he's obsessed with both of them. He likes spreading out and being upside down and being a little crazy guy. Definitely recommend bed. And food and water dishes. I have a set at home and I also have a set at my work, but the set that we have at home, me and my sister actually custom painted and made at one of those stores where you can paint your own pottery and they make it for you. And I think that that's so fun, and it was just a little special thing for us to make for Bean. But yeah, just something to think about. Having a portable water dish for when you're able to walk your dog. If you're getting an older dog, you'd be able to walk them right away, but we have a little one that collapses and I can easily fit in my bag. And when we go on walks or hikes or anything, I always bring that with me. Or when we go anywhere, I always bring that with me so he can have some water all the time. For food, I would definitely recommend asking your breeder or the shelter workers where you're getting your dog what kind of food they're used to, because you don't want to switch up their food drastically. You definitely want to be feeding them what they're used to, and you can gradually switch to whatever kind of food you would like to be feeding them. You can do research on all the different types of food. There's so many things to look at. We've just kept Bean on what he was being fed by the breeder. He loves it. He eats really well. We haven't had to add anything to his food, or yeah, it's been perfect for him. So that's been really easy. we get it in really large quantities, and because he's so tiny, it lasts forever, which is super, super nice. But yeah, definitely do your research on food and make sure that you're gradually changing it if you do want to change it. So the next thing is grooming supplies. You are going to need at least one brush. Bean's brush that we picked up for him is actually double-sided, which is really helpful with Pomeranians and breeds like that with longer coats. You need to make sure you're brushing them pretty regularly so they don't get any mats or anything. So we have a detangler spray that we use for him and a brush that has both sides. I use both sides of the brush. We also picked up some grooming wipes that we can use in between baths to just kind of get the gunk off of his fur without having to go through the whole bath time routine. And then when we do the whole bath time routine, I have a shampoo. Some people get conditioners for their dogs. I just use the shampoo and the detangling spray, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes we put peanut butter inside the bathtub, which is a very helpful trick if they don't like being in the bath, which Bean did not. And we also have to blow dry him. So I would do your research on your breed that you're getting, what their best grooming process is. But with Pomeranians, you have to blow dry them right after they get out of the bath and then brush them again. But yeah, just some things to think about. Different shampoos, brushes, conditioner, or detangling spray. If you don't own a blow dryer, you might need to get a blow dryer, things like that. Yeah, Bean has a very intensive routine. But okay, and then the next thing you'll need is a leash. This is pretty obvious. You'll definitely want one even if you can't bring your puppy outside right away on walks, just to train them, get them used to it. If you're going to puppy classes, if they're in the backyard and you want to keep a closer eye on them, good thing to have. You're going to want a collar, name tag, harness if you want to use a harness. For smaller dogs, you probably want to look into getting a harness and walking them on that instead of a collar. With Pomeranians, you can actually hurt their windpipe if you just use a collar. So you want to do your research on the type of dog that you have. Harnesses are also just easier to help control your dog as they're flying all around the place on your walks, trying to smell everything. And once you get your dog, you can also look into things like gentle leaders, different types of collars, and different types of harnesses, but that is something that you can figure out later on. I would just get a standard collar and leash that will hopefully fit them. You can also talk to whoever you're getting your dog from beforehand, or get it with your dog. Just be careful about bringing new puppies into puppy stores or pet stores, because usually it's not a great idea for puppies that are unvaccinated. But we had to go through a lot of trial and error with Bean's harnesses and collars. We ended up getting an extra small kitten collar and an extra small kitten harness for him. So you might want to keep your receipts, keep your tags on things, because you don't know what's going to fit, but I would recommend getting one before you get your dog. So the next thing is a travel carrier for your dog, especially wherever you're picking them up from. I'm assuming you would need this unless they're a larger breed of dog, but you're going to want something to safely bring your pup home in and to be able to travel around in. It's actually very handy. We use Bean's travel carrier as like a car seat for him now, so he's a bit big for the carrier. He still fits in it, and it is airline approved. So when we go on our first airplane ride, which might be relatively soon, we'll have that ready. But yeah, so we're able to use that double ways. He always travels in the car in his carrier, and I let him poke his little head out now, and he's secure and safe in the car. The last thing that I have on my list is treats and training treats. You can look into different things you want to use. Some dogs respond really well to foods like vegetables, or sometimes we use little Cheerios for Bean's training, but he also just loves using his food for training or using just the tiny little bite treats that we get from the store. So I would get some of those. They can just help your puppy acclimate a bit better, and you want to start training as soon as you can once you bring your pup home. So yep, that is all the things for buying that I have on my list. I will put that all below. One other thing to consider is you're going to want to save up some money for your vet visits, especially in the beginning when you're getting your puppy. They're going to need a lot of different vet visits, and they are pretty expensive. It racks up pretty quickly. You can look into pet insurance, which might help with this, but I would definitely recommend saving a little bit of extra cash for your vet visits. Alright, and that is going to be it for this video. I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I will have the checklist linked below in the description box, and if you have anything to add to this list, please comment below and let me know what you would add, what was helpful for you. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, please subscribe and leave a comment. It would really help out my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more regularly with different lifestyle, dog-related content, travel, and faith videos. So if you would like to see more of that, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next week in the next video. All right, bye guys.